Hi guys, and welcome to my video which tries to explain some of the quirky gun mechanics which go on in Judgment. Abram made a wonderful video about this, and he asked for people to make a follow-up video. I think I found the basic principles behind the strange mechanics. Now, as Abram observed, whenever a gun is pointing through someone's body, sometimes it goes through them, sometimes it doesn't, and it seems to be something to do with the length of the barrel. The more of the barrel that's sticking out their back, the more likely it is to miss. Like, see, I aim down a little bit here, and the more of the barrel points out, and so it misses. Of course, one thing we need to remember here is that these shots are being shot with the reticule off the body. So these are, in fact, taking advantage of the quirky judgment mechanic, where your shot actually comes from the barrel of the gun at a certain range, which adds a whole lot of confusion. I really want to thank OneZombei and Rigemiester for helping me do the research in this video. And so basically my methodology is going to be a touch different. Instead of going around and taking every gun in the game and poking into people's bodies from every possible angle and seeing what kind of penetration can be achieved for the shot to take effect, I sound a little bit on the kinky side. I am actually just going to try to define some basic parameters and get down to the root cause of these quirky gun mechanics. So I hope you guys enjoy. So the first thing I want to establish is that if your reticule is on the enemy, you will hit them, even if it's at a very strange angle and the bullet has to do funny things to do it. That's the way the game has been designed, with the center of the screen aim point, and so if you manage to get your reticule on them, you're guaranteed a hit. Now, where things get funny is because of the fact that at a certain range, you start to also register a hit from the barrel of the gun. So I wanted to find out exactly what that range was, and so I did some experiments to find it like this. So basically between this range and this aim point here, where you're all the way up against their body with the barrel pointing through them, you have two aim points which will strike the target, one being the barrel of your gun, the other being the reticule on the screen. Here is me demonstrating the same principle with the hammer, so you can see as I move closer and further away, these shots miss or hit the Anya, even though the muzzle of the gun remains pointed at the center of her body. Honestly, I think it's a little bit of BS that from this point to this point, a shot, which had just winged her, suddenly becomes a complete jib. I think you should either have the aim point be the center of the screen or the barrel of the gun when blind firing. This weird mishmash of the two of them only makes the gun mechanics confusing and inconsistent, which was the stated purpose of putting the reticule in the center of the screen in the first place. So what makes something like this happen, where we have both characters stacked up in the blind fire zone, but the player behind the one in front dies first, then the one in front is killed? I think to understand this we need to look at how the gun mechanics look from the side, just firing at one target. So you can see clearly that the tip of the hammer is way down here, but a little warp hole opens up in the game to allow the bullet to impact on his arm. Similarly, with a shotgun, it's way down here past your leg, but the game makes the bullet warp up to the middle of her body to kill her. It's pretty obvious with the digger again, and it's especially comical with a sniper rifle. It's an extremely extreme case. The barrel's way down next to the ground, and it makes the bullet warp all with the top of her head. So how does this affect our strange bullet gun mechanics? Well, the fact is that these wormholes which open in the game are lazy wormholes. They would rather not open. So the basic rule of thumb is that if both of the enemies are inside one of the kill zones, either the reticule or the strange blind fire zone, the one who's in front of the gun will die first, and then the game will warp the bullet to where it kills the one who is behind the gun. And this works for pretty much all the guns that are about an asher in length, where the barrel pokes through a little bit. The only exception I found to this is like the sawed-off shotgun and the classic hammerburst, which are very short. The classic hammerburst had a weird thing where it killed both of them at once, so that was funny there. So here it is with an ordinary hammerburst. you can see the reticule is clearly on Ty's shoulder. Without moving anything, it starts to hit Ty after Anya has died. So that pretty clearly shows that even if the reticule is on them, the game will take priority with the person in front of the gun rather than work the bullet. And here's one last test which I did to see whether or not the game gave priority to the reticule or to the strange blind fire zone. And it appears to be that the deciding factor is the position of the character in front of the gun rather than whether it's a reticule or blind fire zone that's on them. Because you can see the blind fire zone killed the Ty, then the reticule kills the Anya. And here's a couple last little random clips showing that the length of the barrel is a factor, how a sniper bullet goes right through them, but then a pistol hits them in the same aim point. And the same thing here with this Lancer. Haven't moved anything and then Lancer kills them. So the sniper barrel does definitely have some weird things which affects whether the bullet will hit them in the body or not. And lastly, we do want to remember all the people who sacrificed their lives to make this video. Rest in peace, the many incarnations of Rigemiester and OneZombei. You will not be forgotten. And to finish up, I do want to thank Abram for his work on the subject. The link for his video is located here. And also I wanted to let you guys know that I am on Twitter now, so if you want to get updates for my videos or invites to participate in my videos, I will be using Twitter to communicate that, and the link for that is here. And I hope you guys learned a little bit, and thank you for watching.